Mr. Minusco has a prenuptial agreement that both parties signed in Hawaii, where Mr. Minusco lives, and he would just like some testimony on what property he would like divided by the court today as well.
All right. Ms. Minusco, do you want to give your opening statement now or?
Your Honor, good morning. I filed for a motion of continuance for this case because I am totally interested in continue this case with the proper legal advice and legal aid that I am allowed by law to represent. And the reason I did not answer to this case in the proper time is that I was losing my job in that time and I couldn't pay for a lawyer. I kindly request my petition to be approved in this morning. Thank you.
Okay. So you said you filed a continuance?
Yes. And I have the copy and it is it's stamped by the court. And I emailed to the opposing party as well, to the lawyer.
All right. So Mr. Starr, she's made a general appearance, so it's not going to be
I understand. I would still like to go forward today. Mr. Minusco they lived in Hawaii. His wife left some time ago and he had to hire people to try and find her. He's been waiting on this divorce for a long time and she was served in February. That's a long time to get a lawyer and file anything. If she was able to file a continuance, she should have been able to file a general answer, I believe.
All right. So both parties have given their opening.
This courtroom drama is unreal. A greedy ex-wife thinks she deserves more money just because her ex started earning more after their divorce. But Judge Vaughn isn't buying it. She shuts it down with some brutal reality checks. If you love courtroom showdowns like this, hit that like button. Subscribe for more, and let's dive in.
Thank you. First, some general questions, Mr. Minusco. What was the date, to the best of your knowledge, of your marriage?
July 14th, 2018.
Okay, and what was the date of your separation?
June 1st, 2022.
Okay, and at that time when you separated, did your wife leave the marital residence and go to another state?
She did. She was removed by the police from the residence.
Okay, and you actually have a protective order on your wife currently, don't you? An active one.
That's correct.
Okay. And when does that expire, to your knowledge?
November of this year.
Okay. Now, do you know where your wife went after that?
I'm aware now that she's in Texas.
Okay. And so you believe she's been living there since then, correct?
Correct.
Has the marriage become insupportable due to discord or a conflict of personalities that destroys the legitimate ends of the marriage relationship?
Yes.
Is there any reasonable expectation of reconciliation with your wife?
No.
Now, you don't have a final decree, but you had a prenuptial agreement. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and that's her signature and your signature on the prenuptial agreement.
That's correct.
Okay, and did you guys alter that in any way when you submitted it to me? Okay. Your Honor, I would like to offer Petitioner's Exhibit P-001 into evidence, the prenuptial agreement signed in Hawaii.
Any objection, Ms. Fundin? Okay, what's your objection?
This prenup was made in scratch. It was signed by both. It has scratches. It was not legalized. And I don't think a document like that could be a valid prenup. It was not signed by a notary or a lawyer, and it is totally a scratch.
Okay. Mr. Starr, your response.
Well, it's an opposing party statement, Your Honor, and they're both of sound mind. And they agreed to this going into the marriage, and parties are able to contract among themselves. And this is a contract between two parties.
All right. You want to put it on the screen?
This case is absolutely unbelievable. A woman is in court demanding more money from her ex-husband, not because she's struggling to survive, but because she wants more. Her reasoning? She claims that her wages have gone down and that her ex caused a scene at her workplace, which somehow justifies an increase in her payments. But here's the kicker. She's already getting $325 a week from him, and instead of using it for essentials like rent, bills, or savings, she openly admits she spends it on enjoying herself. Yes, you read that right. This isn't about survival. It's not about taking care of children. It's about her wanting extra cash to fund her personal lifestyle, and she genuinely believes the court will side with her. But here's where it gets even crazier. When the judge presses her on where all that money is going, she doesn't even try to justify it with real expenses. Instead, she doubles down on her entitlement, insisting that she deserves more simply because her ex-husband now earns a higher salary than before, but Judge Vaughn isn't having it. He sees right through the nonsense and isn't about to let her manipulate the system for her own benefit. You can tell by his expression that he's already figured her out and his patience is wearing thin. He's not about to reward her greed with even more money that she hasn't earned. This is the kind of case that really makes you shake your head. It's one thing to fight for fair financial support, but it's another thing entirely to demand a paycheck from your ex just because he's doing well after the divorce. It's a textbook example of entitlement at its finest, and you know Judge V is about to deliver a brutal reality check. If you love juicy courtroom moments like this, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let's dive right into the action.
I'm going to stop screen sharing, Your Honor. Now, are you in possession of both of those vehicles?
I am not.
Okay, what vehicle are you in possession?
I'm in possession of the Toyota Highlander.
Okay, and is your name on the deed to that?
It is.
Is your wife's name on the deed to that?
It is not.
Okay. Did you own it before the marriage?
No.
Okay, you bought it during the marriage.
Yes.
The Jeep Wrangler, is your name on the deed to that car?
It is.
Okay, are you in possession of it?
I am not.
Okay, who is in possession of that vehicle to your knowledge?
Neither myself nor the respondent.
Okay. Did she take it with her when she left Hawaii?
She took it with her when she was removed from the house. Yes.
Okay, is that the car she normally drove though?
It is.
Okay. Is there a note on that car? Like a loan?
There is a outstanding loan on the vehicle.
Okay, whose name is that in?
That is in my name.
In your name only?
In my name only.
Okay, are you asking for possession or the right to repossess that vehicle? So that
I
you can
am.
pay off that loan? Okay. In the alternative, if the judge, because the judge's job is to make an equitable distribution of the estate, would you say that in the alternative, she be responsible for that debt on that vehicle since she took the vehicle?
Yes.
Now, did you file a proposed property division?
I did.
Okay, are you asking the court to make that an order of what you want in a proposed property division that you filed?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, and I'd like to offer that into evidence as a record of his testimony. It's labeled as P002, and it's in your inbox as well.
All right. You want to bring it up on the screen, please, so she can look at it?
Yes. Okay. So you filed this with the court, correct?
Your office did, correct.
Okay. Well, on your behalf, so you did.
Yes. Yes.
And then we see the Jeep Wrangler 2017 and the Highlander here, and you owe about $10,000. Is that your testimony on the Jeep Wrangler?
The debt balance is about $22,000.
Okay, so there's 22,000. Okay, I see it here. And then the market value is $11,000. What are you basing that off of?
This was based on a Kelly Blue Book.
Petitioner's Exhibit 002.
All right, Ms. Fonseca, do you, any objection to the admission of Petitioner's Exhibit 2? It's just his argument, really. They're really kind of demonstrative and not true evidence, but this is kind of a guideline of what petitioner is saying that the court should do. And he
Okay,
back that up with evidence. But do you have any objection to this admission?
I totally do. The Jeep value is not 11,000. That Jeep, if you see on the market, you can sell that Jeep for 32 or 34,000.
That would be something that you could put on as evidence. And, I hadn't sworn you yet, and I did ask you about that on your signature, so I'll have to ask you that again, or somebody will, because you weren't sworn yet when I asked you that. But that's really not a legal objection. Any other objection about this? Because, see, you can come back on your testimony after you're sworn in and say, well, that's not the value of the Jeep. But that doesn't negate the admission of the evidence, which is really just a demo.
There is a Jeep and there is a Highlander. Those both were acquired during the marriage. None of these cars had an actual debt. They're all paid off.
Okay. All right. Petitioner's Exhibit 2 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. He may proceed, sir.
Okay. Mr. Minusco, the 401ks that you're asking the court to award in your name, are those something you earned through your employment?
That's correct.
Okay, and these aren't from your wife's jobs. You're not asking to take her 401ks from her jobs. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then all these unsecured debts, you're asking the court to award those in your name as well.
That's correct.
Now, are there any children born or adopted during the marriage who are currently under the age of 18?
There are not.
Okay. And just to kind of reiterate, you're asking the court to award you the house as separate property. Deem it separate property.
Correct.
Is there anything else that you think the court needs to hear today?
Just in regards to the Jeep, I have not seen or been in possession of that Jeep since our separation almost 2 years ago. I have heard from friends who have seen this around town, and I've been provided pictures that someone, not the respondent nor myself, have been driving that Jeep around illegally, towing watercraft around with it. I've been insuring this vehicle, and this is liability to me, and I just need to make sure this either comes back into my possession or gets my name removed from that, and I cannot do that without a divorce decree.
Okay, and then
And I'm not real sure Jeep or whoever financed it would agree to remove you, right? Isn't that
I've had problems dealing with this.
Well, I mean, isn't that the law, Mr. Stara? They can show a divorce decree awarding, a debt to somebody all day long, but, they're still going to go after, right? Or am I wrong?
yeah, no, I believe you're correct. Mr. Minusco, in the alternative, if you can't get if your wife can't refinance the Jeep or return the Jeep to you, are you asking for a judgment for the amount of money that you owe on the Jeep against her?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, except for the Jeep, are you asking the court to award you the personal property in your possession and to award your wife the personal property in her possession?
Correct.
Okay. Do you think the court needs to hear anything on the protective order or the issues that arose around that?
Courtroom reality check. Judge shuts down outrageous divorce demand. This case was a joke from the start. Let's be real. She already won the house in the divorce. Not just any house, but the one he fought for. And guess what? She still got it. But it didn't stop there. She walked away with no car payment, half of his $401. and a $250,000 payout. And yet, somehow, she still had the audacity to come back asking for more. At this point, it's not just unfair, it's straight up entitlement. When the judge asked her to justify why she deserved even more, she had nothing. No real argument, no valid reason, just complaints about her job cutting wages and hours, as if that's somehow her ex-husband's problem. Conveniently, she left out the fact that her expenses dropped after cashing out from the divorce. She wanted the court to feel sorry for her just because her ex made more money. But that's not how reality works. Judge Vonda saw right through the nonsense and dismissed the case on the spot. And this right here, this is what's wrong with modern entitlement. People expecting to contribute nothing while someone else foots the bill forever. It's not just greedy, it's lazy. And the best part? The ex-husband didn't even bother showing up.
Sorry, how do you pronounce your last name? Montesuco? Can I ask questions? Sorry, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
you're asking questions of your husband at this point. That is, since you're representing yourself, this is called cross-examination, so you get to ask him questions about basically anything.
Jordan Monusco, do you remember that the day I left the house, you told me to leave the house, not the police? You kicked me out of the house with cruelty and no pity. You did not care about my well-being in your country because
Objection. Lacks personal knowledge of what he thought.
Overruled, but that's 3 questions in a row. Ask one question and wait for the answer. Then ask so it's compound. I would have granted that objection, but start over and ask one by one, not, a whole bunch together.
Okay. Jordan, the day we separated, did you kick me out of the house? And there is a video of it. Yes or no?
The police removed you from the house that day.
No. He told me to left the house.
Objection. That's not a question.
Sustained. You can only at this time ask questions. You're going to have your chance to testify on direct examination in your case in chief, or if Mr. Starr calls you in his. So just at this time, the way that the law is that you can ask questions. Just keep asking questions, anything that you want the court to know.
Jordan, do I was paying the Jeep with Turo payments every month?
Payments were made for approximately the first year of the Jeep ownership, and then they ceased. And that was from our mutual LLC that we both contributed to.
The LLC that you created was during the marriage, yes or no?
Yes.
Does the debt on the Jeep, you paid it from the loan, from the LLC account? You paid it off, the Jeep, from the LLC money.
The Jeep is not paid off. Monthly payments were made from the LLC account that we created together.
Jeep, it's been paid off, as I remember you told me one day. You say that the Jeep has been paid off because you received the loan money, the equity money, so the...
Objection, that's not a question. It's a narrative.
Turn your statements into questions. You may try again. That objection is sustained.
Did you create the LLC during the marriage?
Correct, yes.
Does we pay for the Jeep during the marriage, both of us?
The payments that were made on the Jeep came from, the majority of them came from the income from the LLC, not all of them. I made several payments and continued making payments after you ceased making them.
Does the LLC, how much money exactly did you receive from the LLC? during our marriage?
Me personally, zero. I did not take any money from the LLC. Only used the money from the LLC to facilitate the payments that we made together, the car payments.
Why did you not took me in consideration but added my name on the LLC and you did not include me on that LLC?
Your name was included on the LLC. It was a two-member partnership.
It was during our marriage, yes or no?
Yes.
Did I help you out with the Airbnb at the house? With the Kalama Street house?
You did, and you were compensated for doing so.
How many rooms are you renting right now in Kalama Street?
One.
What happened with the other two?
I would object to the relevance of this because that house is separate property.
Overruled.
The house is there are several bedrooms in the house.
So your rental income is not what you declare on your statement. Your rental income, it is about $3,000 a month plus your salary. So you are not declaring that you rent 2 extra units in that statement.
That's incorrect. I'm renting 1 bedroom.
And for how much?
It is currently unrented.
But how much are you asking for that unit, for the studio right now?
Up until last month, I was receiving $1,200 per month. Gross.
Yesterday, I have aware and I have proof that you are requesting $1,400 for the studio. It's not what you put in your statement. You are asking
Lack of
$1,400
a question.
for the back
Sustained.
unit, plus you rent. Have you been fulfilling your obligations with the immigration law according to the form I-867?
Objection to the relevance.
Overruled.
Jordan, have you been disregarding your immigration contract as a sponsor of myself in this country?
Fair question.
Have you been disregarding your commitment with the federal law, with immigration, by caring and providing to someone that you bring to this country, and you have not been fulfilling your obligations with the federal law?
I am fulfilling all of my obligations.
Why? Because he already knew she didn't have a case. That tells you everything. Some people really think they can just show up, cry about how life isn't fair, and walk away with a paycheck. Not this time. If you love content like this, check out the next video right here. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a moment of the madness. See you in the next one.